Welcome to Evilive. Oh, damn it. Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, why can't Adam get the damn thing to work right? Subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we're reviewing HBO's Last of Us Season 1, Episode 6, Kin. Not Ken.
No, definitely not Ken.
Like the lack of genitalia doll, but Kin. Who says Kin?
I say it a lot, actually.
Do you really? They my kin.
It kind of, it's a long, boring, stupid story, but it makes me laugh to say kin or kinfolk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like kinfolk is a little bit better than kin. Kin is just like, kin is like the crick of creek, right? It's like the shorthand or the,
I suppose,
the hick way of saying something that you could just say normally. Easily.
I don't know. I feel like kinfolk's way more hickish.
You got kinfolk.
And I also had to explain what kin and kinfolk was to a deep southerner, and it was
what?
Funny. Yeah,
that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, we're gonna have some jamboree. Call kinfolk. Get them on up here.
Right.
Is Billy playing the washboard again? Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. Better bust out them spoons.
Oh, dude. Spoons. And the fucking jug, too. Like, I don't know what the jug, if you're just, like, spitting in it, or if you're actually... I don't know how to play the jug, but I assume it has a lot to do with, like, giving head in a bad way. You're just like...
My guess.
All right. Anyway, we're here to talk about The Last of Us.
None of that's in this episode, though.
Not even... There's kin. There's kinfolk.
There's definitely kin.
You just can't imagine someone from Texas saying kinfolk. I imagine like a, I don't know, like Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, but Texas? All right. Wyoming? This is directed by Jasmila Zbonic.
Yeah, that was, you said that 100% correct.
Totally normal name.
Yeah, anybody, like any other pronunciation is wrong.
Totally wrong. Obviously wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your initial thoughts of this episode?
Man, it was first thing I said to my wife was like, God damn, I'm getting like game flashbacks.
Oh, really?
Because there's like aspects of the game that I apparently completely forgot.
Wow.
So yeah, coming up on that the turbine plant, like the dam, man, that was like, oh my God, I remember that shit. Fuck.
Really?
Good episode.
That's pretty cool. So, how much like slow walking overland stuff is there in the game?
Not that much.
Okay, good.
Like really the slow walking over land shit, it's essentially just in the cinematics when they're kind of talking back and forth, or when you're exploring shit. Like the whole campus scene on the horse, man, that was so much fucking fun and
cool.
So scary the first time I did it because I just kept waiting for people to jump out.
Yeah.
And then there's monkeys, and that was pretty dope.
The monkeys threw me for a loop because when I think of monkeys, I think of Lord of Illusions. I think of like baboons that'll rip your face off, or chimpanzees that are kept by some crazy woman who, when her friend comes over for tea, rips her face off. Like, I don't think of like cute little monkeys that just sort of scurry away when a human is around. They're like territorial.
Well, you gotta figure these are the kind of monkeys that had like needles in them and were like just destroyed as living creatures for science. So
I've seen 28 Days Later.
Yeah,
I know those monkeys.
They're not quite that kind of.
What did you do to them? We injected them with rage. Great idea. Go science. All right.
Fuck yeah.
Meanwhile, ChatGPT is going to take over our planet. All right. This was written by Craig Mazin. It, of course, aired yesterday, February 19th. My initial thoughts of this were, like, the first half of it was like, wow, this is really going to shit the bed as an episode. And the second half, I was just, like, holding back tears, trying not to sob openly. Like, be tough. Be the strong one.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of figured that's how you were going to take this episode. Like, while I was watching, I'm like, oh,
dude.
I know because I'm in the know. He's not. Let's see what happens.
Hey, Chris, thanks for joining live, man. Yeah, we'll get into it, but yeah, it sort of hit me, and like just this. I think this is the best Pascal acting yet, right?
I will say second best, yes.
Oh, what was first for you?
The incredibly, or goddamn it, the Nick Cage movie.
Oh, really?
No, this by far, like, this is just amazing.
That would be hilarious if that was really it.
I mean, I love that movie.
It's great.
I love that movie, but yeah,
It's a good time.
it's
It's buddy cop. It's like what you and I would do if we just went down and like lived in South America for a while, like we're going to.
Yeah, that's all we gotta do is find some acid, and then it'll probably happen.
Done and done. Hey, Goldman, how you doing? Thanks for joining live. Well, let's walk through this episode because again, it sort of began a little bit slower for me, but then where it ended was just like insanity. So, you wanna walk us through this?
Yeah, so I mean, they're on their way to Jackson, trying to find Tommy, and
Well, what did you think about the time jump?
the time jump?
3
I mean,
months.
I was fine with it because I mean that happens in the game. To be honest, like you'll get giant
Oh,
empty
really?
spots because like I mean, how exciting would it be to see them walking?
Mhm.
Like it's like all the boring parts of Lord of the Rings, like just walking. So yeah, I was totally fine with that. My wife was like, "But 3 months?" It's like you don't need to see all that shit.
Yeah.
But when they show up and they're in Wyoming and they come up on that Indian couple, that shit had me laughing.
They're great. They're great. There's
Yeah.
Firefly people.
Yeah.
You got those in the summer.
Like just totally fucking trolling these motherfuckers. Like, oh, you're serious and you got a gun? Nah, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like that's the Indian way. It's super sad.
Well, it was super funny because you don't get fireflies in Wyoming. Ever. That's
Yeah.
a South thing. That's a Bible Belt thing. That's not a Wyoming
you
thing.
get,
So they
like,
were really
nothing.
fucking with them.
Yeah. Wyoming, you get like jackalopes and meth. That's about it. Nothing else.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in some parts you might see some antelope and get some bitch and jerky from it, but other than that, yeah, it's like desolate because nobody wants there.
Yeah, this is I've been to Wyoming a lot. We have family there, but I've never seen Wyoming like this. This is northeastern Wyoming. You've got the massive mountain ranges up there, but you don't see that on the side that I usually visit, like when I was younger and we had to do beer runs because Utah has a lower percentage of alcohol, and we'd do clove runs because Utah doesn't sell cloves when I used to smoke, and we would do firecracker runs because Utah didn't sell great firecrackers. So basically, Wyoming was our go-to for fun. Utah's where we came to be miserable.
Which is ironic because like most of Wyoming is pretty miserable. I mean, there's definitely beautiful spots like Yellowstone and all that shit. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. But yeah, anything south of that, it's just sort of like, yes, this is where God's deuce landed.
But like that was this whole episode was just Grand Teton, wonderful Western shots. I mean, they had the riding into sunset. They had the silhouetted, sort of parallel shot. I mean, this was like every great Western shot was in this episode. And the whole time I was just sort of freaking out. There's a scene where it's the camera is like close to the ground, focused on weeds. And I mean, they're beautiful. They're all, sort of, it's like fall color weeds, but they're weeds. And then it changes focus, same position, and then it's just them, sort of passing in the distance on the hill. It's goddamn beautiful. Like it's just, and this is what sort of has always struck me as strange about this film. In almost every single other case, a horror film, or a horror series, which this is more of a survival, but it has horror elements,
That's
much less than I would have thought. But anyway, like you normally don't get scenic shots at all. You usually don't get good music at all. I mean, usually at best you get some jump scares that actually work or some funny acting or something, but this has everything. This has everything like a great drama has. It has everything a great Western has. It has everything a great action adventure has. They're firing on every single damn cylinder I didn't know could work together, and it's just fucking working great.
Yeah, like this is the epitome of over a century of filmmaking knowledge thrown together, but it just so happens to be genre based.
Yeah.
Like it's insane because like you get rid of all the scary spooky shit, and this is just a beautiful, you know, one, it's a coming of age story. Two, it's you know, finding your family or making your family story. Like it's just it's everything that the normies love, but it's genre, so it's great.
And this episode especially really hit home with the idea of overcoming self-doubt, overcoming fear. Chris had a comment. I don't want to say it in the show, but people can just read it for themselves. But it's that idea that something that is seen or can be reflected on as a personal, you know, a problem that you have to sort of overcome is sort of hyper focused in a narrative sense in order to really sell character motivation. And that's what I really appreciated about this, is that we had those sort of brief moments of Joel, like, sort of coming to this understanding, like, I can't do this. You know, we've always been told that, shown that he is, you know, the strong, silent type. He's able to deal with anything that comes like up to him. Even when he failed and he didn't hear the guy coming up and he almost died if it wasn't for Ellie, like he still came off as a guy who, I can take care of the situation. Maybe I would have died, or maybe I would have just flipped him on his back and then killed him then or something. But at no point did I ever think that Joel would not get out of it okay. But to see Joel dealing with the stress of, and I think this is the strength of it, because it's before he even acknowledges that he has grown so close to Ellie that he does in fact see her as a daughter. He's refusing to even accept it outright because he doesn't want to feel the emotions that he's actively feeling already. Like he's already suffering that panic from it, that anxiety of, I can't keep her alive, and she's the one goddamn hope that we have. Like, I'm not the guy. I'm not the one. I can't do this. And all of us watching are like, you could do it, man. You could do it.
Yeah, it definitely wanted to throw a can at the TV. It's like, fuck you. You're perfect in every way. You got this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved how I feel bad. I feel like an asshole for saying Indian guy, but I don't know how else to speak to him because I can't remember his name as an actor.
I don't remember his name.
But anyway, he walks in. He's like, "You fed him?" She's like, "It was cold outside." What do you want me to do? He was like, "Did you tell him the truth?" She's like, "Yeah." "Are you telling me the truth?"
That was the best part. I fucking love that line. And then the look that they had between the two of them, like, that shit's real. Like, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you understand that look of each other.
It was just so great. And I loved how calm and just paced out she was. She, you know, she wasn't like terrified, all up in arms in a rush or anything. She was just like, this is my vibe. This is my pace. You either meet me here or you get the fuck out. Like,
yeah, no, that's what you call an auntie. Like, she was like 5 seconds away, like one wrong word, and she was gonna be pulling off the flip flop and smacking. Like, you know, guns be damned.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I really just love their dynamic as well. And then as soon as they left, I guess I never really saw, or I never thought of the rawness of Ellie as a character, how unmolded and uncultured and lack of manners, and I never thought how bad she actually was as a human child until you put her in a situation where she should be showing manners,
right,
or censoring what she says.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's the thing that I'm excited to see with this upcoming episode, is I think we're gonna get more of what Ellie was before she left, type of thing. Because ultimately, yeah, she's in Fedra schooling. Like, I mean, it can't be any better than like fucking boarding school. I mean, they're just dicks. They're beating the shit out of you. They're trying to mold you into the perfect soldier. Like, of course she's not going to have manners.
I don't know though. If you're trained to be a soldier.
Well, okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Indian boarding school. That's like my first thought with Fedra shit. Like, no, they beat the fuck out of you and try to make you something that you're not.
Oh, jeez.
And just take away every ounce of your identity. Yeah.
All right. Well, that sucks.
That's kind of where
That sucks bad. All right. Goldman says Bella totally blew her away in this episode. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah,
She was great.
Not a bad scene at all.
Like, I've liked her since Game of Thrones, but seeing her in this dynamic as an actress, like everything she does doesn't land for me. But I felt like this episode she went for broke, and it really paid off, in my opinion. You know, the second half of this episode, she was sort of just okay throughout the first half, but the second half really she just shone wonderfully in this thing.
It's like I kind of accept the first half of it because I almost saw it as like the things that would make Joel love her as a surrogate daughter more, like just the pure resilience in her being, like that she still sees wonder even in this bleak existence, like the scene where she's staring at the northern lights and looks like she's gonna fall off that cliff.
Wyoming doesn't get northern lights, people. Just letting you know.
Northern Wyoming wouldn't it?
You think?
It's
the Tetons?
I don't know.
I feel like you got to be deep Canada, Alaska to get northern lights.
Let's look this up. You talk. I'll look this up.
So here's what has been bothering me and just sort of eating at me, and I haven't really been able to contextualize it until now. Joel's character is defined by the loss of his daughter. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. You don't get over the loss of someone in 20 years? I can't buy it. I just do not buy that he is so wounded 20 years later. First 5, 100%. First 10, I don't know. 20? That's a whole lifetime.
Like, the thing is, it's different to lose somebody. Like, that's traumatic in and of itself. But to violently lose somebody and then be covered in their blood, like, that shit's gonna stick with you. Like,
20 years
not to get real or anything, man, but I'm pretty fucking sure here in 30 years, if I'm still alive, I'm still gonna be haunted by the visions of my mom dying. Like, that's still gonna fuck me up. Maybe not quite to that extent.
Well, I don't want to talk shit about your fucking situation, so I can't really address, like, well, that's not gonna, I don't know how to move on from here then. You shut the conversation.
Yes, apparently, you can see the northern lights in Wyoming.
That's Chat GPT lying to you, man. Bullshit. I'm sure they did their fucking research, so they know. But
yeah,
I've never ever seen it.
It's probably just Wyoming lying to me. They're like, no, come back.
Yeah.
It's such a great state, and I'm like, no, it fucking sucks.
We have cowboy boots and hats. Yeah. We have both country and Western music. Both kinds of music. Yeah, it was those moments of not only Joel still being so emotionally wounded from losing his daughter 20 years later that I have a really hard time accepting, mixed with 3 months of traveling with Ellie, and he doesn't see her as a daughter yet? Like, overtly, emotionally, everything? 3 months later, you're traveling with this girl, saving her life this long? Like, what the fuck are you waiting for, dude?
Yeah, see, that's the part that I have the issue with. And I mean, it makes sense in the game and all that shit, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I guess I adopt people way too easily.
Apparently, yeah. I mean,
like, in 3 months, it's like, you're more important to me than my brother.
Dude, so, after an hour of drinking at a friend's bar, I was like hugging you. Like, at some point, you have to just accept that, yeah, you guys are going to be together, and you need to just, be honest. Because at best, you end up where we are. At worst, you're fucking wounding this young girl's ego for the rest of her life, telling her that she's not even a person. She's a package. She's not even special or an individual in any way except for to solve some other problem. She's not an independent, thinking, caring human. She is a solution, a mathematical equation for someone to figure out. Like, that's so dehumanizing for Joel to consistently still, after 3 months of traveling with her, to be like, you're a package, we're not family, fuck you. Mm-hmm. What? Give me like a day and a half and I will be calling people brother and sister and like, caring at least while you're in front of me. You leave for a night and I'll forget. But like, yeah,
of
it
course.
just,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
that's the human condition.
It kind of bugged me. So yeah, Goldman was saying the episode went back and forth between heartwarming and heart wrenching. Yeah. I mean, like in a big bad way. Because initially I didn't realize, I didn't know where they were going with Joel's panic attacks. Like I thought, well, are they just leaning in his genuine age and the real physical exertion it is to travel overland all day for 3 months? That's not easy. You don't just pick up one day and do that. That's some endurance type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they have grocery stores they can stop at. They're living off the land.
Yeah.
So like they've got to be emaciated, exhausted, blistered feet. I mean, at least we got that shot of him wrapping his shoes up with duct tape because it was so worn down. But like 3 months on the road, you go 1 week in the wilderness, I guarantee you're going to be crying and begging for civilization again. These people go 3 months traveling wilderness and they're just like talking smack, having a great time, sharing thoughts about astronauts. What? I don't know. A little unbelievable. I'm actually starting to talk myself out of the episode as we speak. Because it's like, it doesn't, yes, this is not reality. But the whole bent of this show is that it's a could be reality. It's a possible reality, Like the fungus could mutate in order to grow inside of us, and then we're totally screwed. So that, on the level of realism, we're there. Now you're giving me emotional situations that I just cannot accept at all. Like they're so far beyond my understanding that now I'm starting to think, did the writers really think about it, or they're just trying to tell the story regardless of the time and shared experience?
I want to spoil this so bad
Oh,
for
really?
you. That's the hardest part about this, is you're just like, oh, this is fucking blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you don't understand what happens. Like, everything makes perfect sense, the way that he's acting and all that shit. Like, yeah, it's outside of the realm of, normal people like us.
Normal?
God damn, it makes so much fucking sense. And then the payoff in the end,
Oh, really?
it's just like, God, I can't.
Well, I'll say at the end of this episode, I felt better because all of my complaints up until that about the emotional state of their relationship is resolved. And we realized that all of that was a front, and that was the center of why he was having so much anxiety, because he was trying to deny these feelings that he honestly had. So at the end, I was just like, okay, the world is right again. I feel better now. But why did it take 3 months? Like I'm still in my head. Like that just bothers me. Chris totally bought it. He said he felt that Joel probably seen a lot of close people die in front of him during the last 20 years. So he totally buys his defense mechanism as a show. Yeah, I mean, it lands for, I think, arguably most everyone. I'm just an insufferable prick. So what do you want? It's who I be. It's me and my kinfolk.
Right.
All right. So they end up going and finding his brother Tommy, and that scene with the dog. The whole time with that dog, I was just like, I'm going to be on my knees, scratching behind his ears, letting it lick me in my face hole.
Yeah, as somebody that's almost been arrested for assaulting an officer because a police dog came up to me in first instinct, just, oh my God, I love you. Yeah, that'd be me too. Like a circle of people pointing rifles at me. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a dog coming? Fuck yeah. Best apocalypse ever.
First of all, if I was Joel in that scene where he turns around and Ellie is like having a fucking tickle fight with the dog, I would have been the guy that ran over, pushed her aside, and started playing with the dog. Like, my turn!
You doing it wrong!
Yeah. I've had a lifetime of experience playing with dogs. You don't know shit! I wanted to play with that dog so goddamn bad. He was adorable. And when he was like creeping up on Ellie, I was just like, oh, that's a play face. That's a play face. I'm going to get in on this. Like I've always had big dogs. I mean, now I have a small and a medium dog, but in my just entire life, I've always had bigger dogs. And so getting hurt, having them, bite you, not intentionally trying to hurt you or anything, but it's just like getting hurt with dogs is a normal thing because you roughhouse with them. That's how they like it. That's how I like it. I wanted to play with that dog so bad. Oh, it sucks so bad. And then when they called him off and they like had him by the collar, pulling him away, I understand why, but I'm sitting here going, get your fucking hand off the dog. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just let him pad along by you. Stop manhandling the goddamn dog. I don't know if I'm turning into the longer I live, the more I care about animals than I ever thought I ever would. Like, I'm anti-zoos. I'm anti-fucking ownership. Like, I'm at kind of at the point where I'm like, let's let the monkeys play in the goddamn hospital now. Like, what's the worst that can happen? They can't screw it up worse than we can.
Right.
We've already lost our rights. Fuck. We suck. Let the animals have a chance. Oh, man. What are we talking about? Yeah, so they...
We're talking about animal liberation.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We're going to turn into 12 monkeys.
Free all the monkeys and give them guns.
Yeah. Because
actually, that'd be pretty sweet.
If it's fine with kids, it's fine with monkeys. They're older than kids in most cases. If they could actually hold the gun, then they're definitely older than kids. So... I loved that when they finally were accepted into the camp and he saw his brother and they just had that amazing reunion. And then he realized why he wasn't contacting him back. That's got to sting a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's your brother. And what we learn from the reveal of his daughter, or I'm sorry, his wife talking to Ellie, is that Joel's toxic. He's a murderer, for obvious reasons, but not everyone is like that. And not everyone needs to like try to survive this sort of post-apocalyptic world like that. And seeing that Tommy, his brother, found another way, but didn't contact his brother to tell him. That's the part that sort of breaks my heart. Like, I'm not close with my brother by any stretch of the imagination. We moved in different directions in life and we just don't really keep up. But they were, and I can imagine what it's like to have a brother that's so close that they come over and breakfast. They have a shared relationship with your daughter. You literally work with them every day. They're just such an ingrained part of your family that you contact each other, even in a post-apocalyptic world, on a regular basis through radio. And now all of a sudden it goes black. You go thinking he's fucking dead or hurt or wounded or trapped, and he's having the best life ever. Like, he is living his best life. And
yeah, like, I would have a hard time not just beating the fuck out of him. Like, that's the part that I didn't see as realistic. Like, oh, yeah, sure, heartfelt tears and hugs and all that shit. But then, as soon as the realization hit me that, oh, you've just been living in fucking paradise while I'm convinced you're dead, I'm gonna break your goddamn nose.
Yeah. It's like every parent who's lost their kids and then re-finds them, and all you want to do is smack the shit out of them and kiss them and hug them at the same time. Like, don't ever do that to me again, you son of a... I mean, it hurts. It's scary. So his brother should have known he would have tried to come for him if he went radio silent, and should have tried to contact him one last time. Yeah, I agree. Like, that just bothered me. You can't pretend that you care about someone and then just abandon them. Like, that just doesn't work. Joel will go to the ends of the earth to try to find you, and you're just like, fuck him. I'm about to get bacon.
My wife said no.
Yeah. And as every married man knows, their wife is never right.
And you never listen to him.
Yeah. That part is true, actually. She my wife constantly just an incessant wave of talking. And so she's not really, that sounds really bad. if you ever watch this later, honey, I'm lying. But she'll say stuff to me. I'm just like in a zone, like this is a bothersome voice. I need to focus on what's happening in front of me. When that's over, the scene's over. And then I'm like, were you saying something? And she's just like, yes.
So I at least have the excuse that I'm like basically deaf in one of my ears. So it's oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I'm totally deaf.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna become deaf in my ear too. I'm gonna be like Joel and Cameron.
Fuck yeah.
My heroes in life. That'd be great. The last time I saw the actress that plays Tommy's wife was True Blood. I thought she was great there. I thought she was great here. I loved her back and forth with Ellie. She's like, I'm not gonna take your sass. I'm not your mom. Like, yeah, I'm going to call you on your shit, and I'm going to try to steer you in a adult manner, not what I would have done, but an adult manner into trying to, alter your behavior. I just thought that's so funny that comment, Goldmoon, was paused, because I'm sure that comment's in reference to us saying that we don't listen to women, and then YouTube refused to listen to your comment. Because I had to manually authorize that comment of just the lines. I think that's so funny. That's ChatGPT taking over, people. AI is here. We're close to the end of the world. All right, so I just watched a news article about it. So, yeah, finally.
I'm just ready for this shit to be over. I've already gone through one fucking apocalypse that was failed. Like, Captain Trips this time was bullshit. It was nothing like in the books.
What?
You haven't read The Stand, have you?
No. I saw the miniseries when I was a kid. That was it.
Yeah. Well, COVID was bullshit. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I like, because now we're at the point where Ellie finds out that Joel had a daughter, roughly-ish her age, and he lost her. And that's where she's like, oh, finally the puzzle fits together. I get it now. I have all the pieces. This makes perfect sense. But Joel's still not over it. He still can't get past it. He's just hung up. And, okay, I was making a lot of fucking bullshit about 20 years, but I fully accept if you don't have an opportunity to process your trauma in life, that trauma stays with you. That's what PTSD is. Like, okay, I can accept that he still has problems with it now that I'm sort of thinking about it. I tend to run off at the mouth without considering what I say.
Oh, fuck that. Don't ever think about what you say. Just deal with the consequences afterwards. That's how I live my life.
It's worked for 40 some odd years, so why stop now? But we get to see that this wonderful moment of Joel talking to Tommy, like, you got to take her to the Fireflies. I can't do it, man. I can't hear. I almost got killed. She had to murder someone, and she's a goddamn child. I am ruining this human being by just being in her presence. You got to pick the baton, man, and just run with it. I can't do this anymore. And Ellie overhears it. And so I love that moment when he goes back up to her to try to, sort of break the news to her. And she's like, You're leaving me. Well, then just fucking leave. What are you doing? So how did you feel about that interaction between them?
Dude, it was pretty much the video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
that's great.
Damn near verbatim. It was, perfection. Like, that's the thing I love about this show is they're totally cool with deviating, like, off the, the beaten path.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like, the shit that really fucking hit in the game, like, they're like, well, why fuck it up? We did good the first time. Let's just go and throw that in there.
Oh,
and man, it was just, it hit just as hard.
Yeah, just, oh, goddamn. Because by now I would have thought, they would have been so close. And she clearly feels like they should be already so close because she feels that they are. For him to just push her off and just sort of be distant and just, sort of cut the ties right to her face was so devastating for me just watching that. I was just like, this is everyone who's ever rejected me in my life.
Right.
Fuck you, world. Joel, you represent everything I hate in life. No, it was horrible. It was, and just because we care about Ellie, even if you have, problems with casting or dialogue or acting or whatever, you can't help but feel something in that situation, in that moment. It was so beautiful and it was so painful. And to see how painful it was for Joel to just say, like, the truth that he was feeling on the outside, his sort of rational mind truth, it hurt him to say it. Like, I have to do it again, Goldman. Sorry. I have to authorize the comment. Oh, that's painful. I'm sorry. It's not me. It's YouTube. It's not me. But Joel knows that Ellie would have saved her life if she stayed, so he's trying to push her away. I mean, he thinks she's going to have a safer life if she's away from him, for sure, because he feels so self-conscious. His sense of self-worth is, I couldn't save my own daughter. How could I save a stranger? or a package or anything. Like I can't do it. I need help. I came here to find my brother. I was sort of taking her along the way. Now I see I am inadequate. I can't even protect her. I can't protect her from the world. I can't protect her from these creatures. Like, it's not worth it anymore. And it's just so painful to have that amount of self-doubt when you are that incredibly talented as a human. His ability to survive and live off the land is, second to none. I mean, they've traveled 3 months in bald wilderness and they're still alive and thriving.
Yeah.
Like, he can hunt, he can do everything, but he can't take care of another human. Like, that's just, it's devastating. How do you think this reflects with Ellie's character?
In what way? Like his weakness for her? Or
Well,
how
like,
it's
does
come
she
across with her?
see that he's capable, or that he's just riddled with self-doubt, or that she's just focused on her end of, I can't do this alone. I don't have anyone else. Everyone's left me. You're the only thing I've
Well,
got left.
I think for her, she doesn't realize those weaknesses that he has because he's internalizing all that shit. Thus, the panic attacks and stuff. Because when it's not like just in their downtime, like when they're fucking around, like him taking on the dad role just naturally, it's just secondhand nature for him. So even if he's doubting himself, he's not showing it, so she's not seeing it.
Right.
So I'm sure that fucking blew her mind, and that was part of the tension, was her realizing that he felt like he was not adequate.
Yeah, it is weird. It's sort of that moment where you have your parents as children. You sort of see them as like, they know all answers. They know everything. They are the grown-ups. They stay up later than I do. They tell me when to eat broccoli. Like, they're the ones that are like superheroes in charge of the world. There's a phase right before you get to, all adults are dumb as shit. And they're all superheroes. There's that phase of, my parents are fallible. They're not perfect. Holy shit. I feel like that's the phase that Ellie is with Joel. Like,
Yeah.
he's
straight
not
up.
that guy I thought he was. Like, he actually has depth, I mean, and I don't think she thinks of it in that way, but it is that acceptance of they're the surface sort of, tough guy with a stiff jaw, or they're a thinking, caring human being. Like, she just never saw that in him before that moment, I think. It's so devastating. So then we cut to the next morning. Tommy picks up Ellie and she's just deflated. Just, fuck. He
Yep, she
really
was
did
waiting
leave
for
me.
Joel to open the door.
And then what happens?
And then they get to the horse stall, and Joel's stealing a fucking horse to take her. And I just love that shit. Tommy's all like, Joel, all you had to do was ask her to give
Yeah.
you. And then I would have had to wake you up. Whatever.
See,
It's like, that's fucking awesome.
I would have been like, you would have given it to me? Like, you would have given me a call and tell me that you're okay, you're set up in paradise. You would have, like that. That's how you would have done it, right, you dick?
Right.
That's what I would
Yeah,
have done.
just hold that shit over his head forever.
Forever. It's the next day. I would be still pissed. This is why I don't have many friends.
That was the moment where
Grudges.
Mando goes to pick up Grogu, and he's wearing the Beskar fleece, and it's like,
Right.
yes, fuck yeah, let's see this shit. Doesn't end like that, though.
No.
Doesn't end like that.
No. We're not done with the seasons yet. It could happen. Yeah, and then he does finally just say, look, you should have a choice. Your choices are, and poof, backpack in the chest. She's made the choice. Didn't even know what the choices were, but she chose Joel.
Yep.
And it was just like, again, this is emotional hit after emotional hit. Like, even after you scorned me, I see that you're still here. I fucking love you, man. I want to be here. Oh. I think it's because I have a teenage daughter and I don't get those feelings. It hit me even harder.
I think it just hits too close to home.
Just like, I want that so bad. I'll do anything. I'll murder people. Just give me a knife and a direction. We'll solve the problems. Anything. Just smile. Dare I ask for a hug? like fuck. Yeah, it's brutal watching this thing. And then we get that moment of them riding off, and she lays her head on his back. And that's just that third one. I was knocked out. I couldn't take any more. It's like, bring the waterworks.
Yeah, no, it was pretty fucking heavy.
Just those goddamn people finally love each other. They're finally accepting that they're father and daughter, and it's like everything in the world is right. There was a scene before that, though, when they're still back in the Joel had just fought with his brother. He went outside and he thought he saw his daughter. I've had this moment, and it fucked me so hard. He thought he saw his daughter, and then his daughter went to get a girl, and he was like, could it be possible? Like, either he's reflecting, what if that's my daughter? What if that's my granddaughter? Or he's saying, I think that's my daughter. Oh, fuck, my daughter has a daughter. I have a life here. Like, this is real. Even self-delusion, like, it's one of those two things. In either case, it hurts.
Yeah, either way. I mean, it's the same end result. Like, that just fucking twisting the dagger some more.
So did you think he really thought it was his daughter, or do you think he was like, oh, what if?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that since watching it yesterday. It's like, did he think it was real, or did he think it was just like a hallucination almost, brought on by the panic attack? But just to see that just utter loss on his face when she turns around, he's like, yep, that's obviously not her. Like, that shit was heavy.
Dude, that shit, it devastated me because I had the exact same experience. It was in high school, and my friend killed himself, and then for weeks, of course, you have everything that's built up in that. And then one day I was talking to another friend, and I looked across the courtyard of the high school, and I fucking saw him walking away. And I was like calling his name, and I was like running after him, and my friend was trying to grab me and stop me. He's like, it's not him. He's dead. Like, it's done. It's over. He's dead. And I just could not process getting past it. And I really thought it was him. And like, I just convinced myself that maybe this was just some crazy ruse. Like, he wanted to escape his life, and so he made up the whole murder. And like, I was anything rather than thinking that my friend gave up, you know?
Yeah.
It fucking broke me. And so, you know, right after Ellie and Joel are finally connecting, right before that, he's like seeing his own daughter in the same way that I saw my friend. I was just like, fuck this show, man. Fuck this shit. I don't want this much emotion and entertainment. Like,
right.
Make me cheer. Make me want to high five someone and then punch myself in the dick for high fiving someone. Like, give me something other than raw, pure human feelings, because I can't handle it, man. I just can't fucking handle it. It sucks. Ugh. And then it just gets worse.
Yeah, it keeps going.
So did you see, well, you play the game, so clearly you saw it coming. I did not see them running into like Ravagers. First of all, Raiders, I should say. Mm-hmm. 4 guys with baseball bats does not Raiders make. That's like a bunch of hooligans.
I mean, that's also assuming that's all there was around.
That's true.
Like, they didn't have their bags or anything on them, so
yeah,
I'm assuming they had a base camp around.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. Did they, like, because they had to exist there when the Fireflies were still there. I think of Firefly when I think of Fireflies, like Serenity and stuff. So do you think that they were like scrapping with the Fireflies? Are they like remnant?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, they might have just been fucking nomads that came across it as they were bouncing out and decided, hey, this is a good enough place to sit for a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I tend to think too deeply into stuff. I mean, they probably were just like randos. And the script treated them like the way. You know, they're just an obstacle that Joel and Ellie had to get around. And then we have that moment of, you know, Ellie calling out for Joel, and she's like trying to get a clear shot. I just thought that was great. I was like, don't pull the trigger. Don't pull the trigger. You're going to fucking miss. Yeah. And like, Joel is just fucking crazy. Break the dude's neck. I just like, goddamn Ash Williams over here just kicking ass and taking deadite names.
Fuck yeah.
And then he turns and looks at Ellie, and Ellie's like shocked on her face, and he looks down. And all I said, like, my wife and I were both like, don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. Leave it in and get to where you got to get to, but don't pull it out. You pull it out, then your blood's going to drain and you're going to die. Like, you can stave it off for a little bit if you leave it in. That's why if you're ever impaled, viewers at home, leave it until you get to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's for the best.
Or at least some sort of medical professional. Or somebody with a first aid kit. Or a clean rag.
Yeah.
Something.
Or at least enough saliva to make it seem like a clean rag. You know, just
yeah, exactly.
wax on, wax off with that fucking wound. But yeah, I mean, it was like in his front side here. I was like, you can live with that. It's not going to feel good, but you can live with that. Just sew that shit up. Of course, I would be crying if it happened to me, like a little baby that I am. Yeah. But Joel's just like taking it. He's like, oh, yank. I'm like, fuck, dude. Who are you? This is crazy. Bruce Willis wouldn't even have done that in Die Hard. Like, that's some hardcore shit. And then, of course, we get that end scene of him sort of pale, falling off the horse, and Ellie crying for him, and me crying on the couch. And it's just like, fuck, what is she going to do? To that moment when she was like, I can't do this alone. I need you. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. Oh,
that shit, man.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Damn you, show. Oh, you're killing me.
Pretty much.
Bella just did so great in this episode. I mean, Pedro did too. He was amazing in this episode. His emotional reactions to both his brother and Ellie were just beautiful. The panic and the fear. Oh, god damn, I loved it so much. So let's talk about that. What was your favorite moment of this episode?
Oh, man. I mean, other than the fight before Joel like takes off, had to be them coming up on the campus, just because I remember that shit so vividly, like riding horseback through that campus, and it was just so fucking cool. Such a beautiful experience. I mean, later on it gets dicey as shit because there's a lot of infected and people there, but yeah, it was just like, oh my god, another scene where they're just getting it so right.
That's cool. I can't wait to play this goddamn game.
Oh man, I can't wait for it either.
I think my favorite was the interaction between Ellie and Joel when he was there in the morning when she went to the stables and then rode off and she like laid her head on his back. I was just like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. Fuck. It was just the most awesome. That's what I want in life. I just fuck. Ugh. It's beautiful. Least favorite. Did you have a least favorite part of this episode?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure if I nitpick shit more, I could find something, but I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, even the stuff that didn't really hit hard for me, I wouldn't even consider it bad because I still enjoyed every aspect of the show. It makes me think about it. It makes me reflect on it after I've already seen it. You know, I mean, it's like I have to watch it twice before I do this show with you because otherwise I wouldn't be able to process what I just experienced because it's just all raw emotion the first time. But and it felt like a really long episode too. Like I thought it could have ended before they left the village. Like that could have been the end of it. And then they leave the village. We get all those beautiful scenic shots. And I was just like, oh shit, it's going to keep going. Fuck. Maybe it was the threat of the four guys with the bats. I just feel like you just got your gun and taking them down Indiana Jones style.
It is a little underwhelming.
Yeah. Maybe that is the closest, but I still didn't think it was bad. You know, it's just like my least favorite, I suppose. All right, so what are you looking forward to on next episode? You already alluded a little bit.
Oh man, we're getting the Elegy Origins. Jesus Christ, we're getting Ellie Origins a little bit, so I'm pretty goddamn stoked to see that.
So, did you play that part of the game?
So that is going to be the game after the game. I don't remember what the hell it's called. Oh, okay. There's like a little side game, Last of Us. It's just Ellie with some girl. So I think that's what this is. I haven't actually played that, so I have no clue how that's going to work out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was actually wondering why they haven't done a flashback yet. I know narratively it hasn't really made sense. Now it makes perfect sense. He finally sees her as his daughter. We get to know a little bit more about her at that phase. I thought it was interesting that they waited until that point to then reveal more about her character. And I don't know if it's because, as far as the structure of the season goes, like that's just the perfect place, or if they did in fact wait until Joel accepted her, then we get to reveal more about her. But in either case, I just I can't wait to sort of see the trauma that she has experienced, because she's alluded that wasn't the first time that she killed someone or hurt someone. So I'm hoping that's what they're exploring, and it would be even more devastating if it ended up being like a friend that she had to off. Like fuck, that's worse than the kid that she had to kill, or that was killed when it was attacking her. I mean, that was just brutal. Oh, you're having a whole conversation in the chat too. I feel jealous. I'm not in on this. So, yeah, I think next episode is going to be amazing. This episode was damn just beautiful and heart-wrenching. And every episode we go through, I'm like, there's no way they're going to get better than that. And then they just make it different, but as good. Mm-hmm. Like, how long can that actually work?
Well, I mean, they got renewed for season 2 before this was over, so hopefully at least another season.
Oh man, I see, and I'm thinking like I'm hoping the next episode can even hold the par to the previous episode, because it just doesn't seem like they should be able to fire them off this good. And like I noticed that on HBO they're saying that this had surpassed House of the Dragon, which is a Game of Thrones prequel series that came out this year, that was amazing. But this passed all viewership of that, like blew it out of the water. This is the most popular HBO thing of all times. Thus far this year, I think. So,
well, shit, they did it right too. They waited until like right before this came out, like the first episode, and raised their rates. And it's like, yeah, oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. No, I'm gonna pay the extra just to see this.
Yeah,
and if I paid for it, yeah, I'd find it worth it.
Hell yeah! Oh man, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Did you have anything else you want to talk about with this episode?
No, we got it covered.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in live and sharing your thoughts with us. We really do appreciate it. Of course, if you ever want to support the show, the best way to do that is to subscribe and like and share and comment and I don't know.
Do all the things.
All of everything all at once was a show. So always remember the evil spelled backwards is live. So get your asses out there and be evil, even if you don't want to. Spite yourself.
Absolutely.
You owe it to yourself to be evil.
And fuck that guy.
Yeah.